Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Regina Sunshine, coming to you live from the Regina Sunshine Show here at Regina Sunshine Global Network. We are located at 4040 Chapel Hill Road, Suite T in Douglasville, Georgia. And if you're ever in the area, we have any of our shows going on, feel free to drop in. Most of our shows, we do have a live studio audience, so you are welcome to come and fellowship and meet some great people and have a good time. Today's show is full of amazing guests. Is it Kanan? Because I was going to say something else. Kanan Harper is with us, Sadie Evans, and them royalty boys. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be calling them royalty boys anymore, but I guess we'll find out whenever they come in and have a seat with me. But, I like to start off the show giving you guys announcements of what's coming up for Regina Sunshine Global Network. And the event that my favorite event every year that we do is the Awesome Girl Awards. And this year is 5 years of the Awesome Girl Awards, where we honor girls aged 5 to 17 that are excelling in whatever their gifting and purpose is. And I started the Awesome Girl Awards because so often our kids are celebrated for academics and athletics. And every now and then those who can sing, right? But what about the kids that are entrepreneurs, or they have a heart for service in the community, or they're inventors, whatever it is that their gifting is? We need to celebrate them for that. And so I launched the Awesome Girl Awards. So this year, August the 24th, 9:30 a.m. at the Andrew and Walter Young YMCA. Shout out to the Y for sponsoring us and having us there. We are having the 5th annual Awesome Girl Awards. And in celebration of 5 years of Awesome Girls, we are launching the Awesome Girl Collaboration Book. We have 30 girl authors who have all written a chapter saying why they believe that they're an awesome girl. And when I tell you, this book is going to change lives, because the whole goal behind it was to have the girls that are writing in the book minister to the girls that are reading. Because what happens so often in our lives, we feel like we're different, or no one has the same gifts or talents that we have, and so maybe we feel a little outcast or like we don't fit in. Well, I wanted this book to be a tool where any girl reading it could find one girl in the book that sounds like her, that looks like her, that has a similar gift to hers, and she'll know, well, if she's an awesome girl, what does that mean? I'm an awesome girl too. So I'm so excited. My niece Olivia is the illustrator for the book, and I'm so excited. She's 8 years old. This will be her very first project. We are all about getting our kids involved in our businesses around here. And everything that day will be about the girls. We have a girl MC. We have girl caterers. We have a girl DJ. All our performers are girls. I'm one of only maybe 2 adults that will hit the stage that day. But we're going to give our girls a chance to shine and really celebrate the gifts that God has put in them. So you can actually go to reginasunshine.com. It sounds kind of nasally. You hear that? I had some pasta yesterday. That's what happens when you eat gluten and you're supposed to. It comes down on you fast. You can go to reginasunshine.com to get tickets, to be a sponsor, to be a vendor, or just to, maybe you want to donate something for these girls. The thing that is different about the Awesome Girl Awards that from any other award show that I've seen, and it's something that God gave me when I started, was it was an opportunity for us to create a space where not only were these girls honored, but we created opportunities and relationships that would elevate, propel whatever their dream or goal was. So, I know some of the parents might be listening now. Normally the parents don't know what's going to happen until they walk through the door. And my goal is when we're done for the parents to be crying, because if mama's crying, you did good. You did real good. So it's always about creating opportunities and relationships that when they walk out the door, it's not just about that award show, that it will be a ripple effect into their lives from that point on. So we are still taking nominations only till the end of this week, because I got to close this out. So if you want to nominate a girl aged 5 to 17 to be an honoree for this year's Awesome Girl Awards, email me at reginasunshine.robinson@gmail.com. Give me her name. If she has a bio, send that. I know a lot of these girls don't have bios, but a 5 to 7 sentence statement about why you believe she's an awesome girl. And we will get her into our nominations. All right. Also this year, this is later in the year, but I still want to mention it. In November, we have the Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Empowerment Week. 5 days of events, all celebrating the best of who we are as women. We start, and I don't have the date in front of me. I don't know why I do this every time, Shannon, shout out to Shannon, our producer. I don't have the dates. I have the date for the award show, but the others I don't. So I'm going to give you the date for the award show, which is November the 16th, and you can back up the other dates. But the Tuesday of that week is our online kickoff. On Wednesday, we have a comedy show hosted by Miss Jen. A lot of you guys know her. She opened for Cat Williams on his tour last year. Thursday night, we have spoken word event with Journey the Poetess over at Urban Grind. That Friday, we have a Network Your Curves Off event with a young lady named Akila Benjamin coming out of Washington, D.C. And then on Saturday, third annual Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Empowerment Award show and fashion show. And I love it. I do. It's great to be able to celebrate women and love each other and support each other in the ways that God created us to. All right. Today's lineup, we already had the Stony Love Atlanta morning show at 9 o'clock this morning. Coming after me today at 5 o'clock, we have the Michelle G show. Michelle G comes in from Myrtle Beach to do her show. And I have to mention, big shout out to her guest today, Miss Kanika Star Reynolds. If you guys have never seen Kanika, Kanika is an amazing woman of God. And I just know they're going to light this place on fire tonight when her and Minister Michelle G get together. And I know they've already got an audience of women coming in. So somebody bring some cloths for might be laid out up in here today. I'm prepared to be one of them. I'm just telling y'all how it is. And then at 9 o'clock, we have The Curve. The Curve is our roundtable women's talk show from a curvy woman's perspective. And it's hilarious and candid. And it's women talking about all these things that women talk about when men aren't around. Real talk. Kind of like when men do at the barbershop. That's The Curve. All right. But I do want to mention we are continuing to expand here at Regina Sunshine Global Network. I'm looking for people that want to do some out of the box stuff. We have the space out here for all types of stuff. You know, we've had game shows out here. We have a line dance class out here. But if you want to do a show that maybe takes a little space, you know, you want to do a yoga class, or you want to, you know, teach an African dance class, and that becomes an actual show, we have the space for that. But I'm also looking for people who are looking to maybe teach some workshops and classes. I teach classes out here as well. I do public speaking classes out here, talk show hosting classes. And since I'm a math teacher, you know, I also do a little tutoring out here as well. So if you have an idea for something different that maybe you have not seen on television or you haven't streamed anywhere, and you want the opportunity to be a part of just doing something that nobody else is doing, contact me at reginasunshine.robinson@gmail.com. All right. I like to go to my first break talking about what I'm thankful for. And the word I wrote down today, before any of this stuff that's been happening with me today happened, was accountability. I'm thankful for accountability. I'm thankful that I have people in my life that hold me accountable to God's call in my life. Because I get off track. We all get off track. And I feel like I've been walking in some spaces that I wasn't supposed to walk in. And he'll pull your coattail and pull you back in line, because the call in your life is too great for you to be out there doing something you ain't got no business doing. And sometimes he even removes people out of those spaces so they can't hinder the spirit and the anointing that's on your life. So I'm thankful for accountability and for a God that loves me enough to pull me back. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live with Kanan Harper here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you are back live on the air, Regina Sunshine, here at the Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network. And I'm so excited to have today's first guest on the show. Welcome, Mr. Kanan Harper.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Well, I was trying to figure out how we met each other. I know that Kayvon Hill
Yeah.
connected us, but then when you came through the door, you mentioned another mutual friend of ours,
My
Mr.
cousin, Kevin Thornton.
Kevin Thornton. You said some pretty nice things about me, Kevin. So thank you. It's always good to hear good stuff
Yeah.
about yourself. Well, I thank you. Shout out to Kayvon. Thank you so much for connecting us. And then when I read your bio, I was like, well, she know the kind of people I like on my show, so it
Yeah.
just fit perfectly. Do this for our audience. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
As you said, I'm Kanan. I started writing in like 2004 um, during my incarceration, during federal time. It was at first it was a sole means. I was trying to find an alternative way to make money. But then as I started writing, I found it to be therapeutic. I was able to vent in ways that I can't vent to certain people. And as I began to evolve mentally, I started finding a way that I can write and try to make my former lifestyle be a deterrent through my writing. So I pour a lot of things into it. I pour a lot of my life in there, and a lot of, as you was just talking about, accountability.
Yes.
You know how you have to be accountable for what you do. So I just put that in there and try to give back in my own way.
Well, you're a writer now, amongst other things, but let's talk about life before all of this. What were your dreams or what were your hopes for the future before you found yourself somewhere you didn't want to be?
I guess as a kid, like my youngest son that's here with me, I was heavily off into sports. I loved playing football. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play a lot of ball. Football was my thing. Um, During high school, my favorite teacher was Gia Holmes, and so I kind of got off into accounting. But eventually, I just got lost in there. I went away to school for a year. I guess you could say I kind of had a bad school experience. Nothing bad happened. I just didn't enjoy the first year. The second year, I was accepted to Tennessee State and just made the foolish decision of not going. I wanted to get back home to Detroit, where those streets, they eat you up. As I like to say in some of my books, the streets are more seductive than Beyonce.
That's a
So
good one.
that's what I was doing, and it took me all the way off course. And I'm not finding myself getting back to being the man that I was on the path to being when I was a youngster.
Well, the great thing about where you are now is that you are finding your way back. And the voice and the experiences you have give you an opportunity. Not that this is the way you want it to happen, right? But
Right.
it does give you an opportunity, since you have been through those things, to use those stories, your experiences, as you say, a deterrent for other young people not to make the exact same decisions that you
Right.
made. Now, you said you began writing when you were in prison. How much time were you originally sentenced to?
I was originally given 40-year sentence, supposedly do 20. Fortunately for me in Indiana, you have sentence modifications. So after 10 years, I served pretty much good behavior, programmed well, and I came back and the judge gave me a sentence modification. He modified the remainder of my time to house arrest. So, I have to shout out to Clark County for giving me an opportunity to come down here because they didn't have to let me come. So it was the 40-year sentence.
That's favor from 40 down. Wow, that's awesome. So you began to write, and at first you said it was just an outlet for you. Why did you need an outlet?
When you get to thinking about the way we live, and then being incarcerated, and the people that have control over you are the very people that's in an administration today. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So when you do that and you get to thinking like, well, I've pretty much kind of contributed to their agenda, that's kind of, it hurts you.
Yeah.
It's really bad when you're not ignorant to it. It's one thing to be ignorant, but when you know what's going on and you still allow them to use you as a vessel for what they're doing, it kind of, it's time to really take a hard look at yourself. And I knew I had to alter what I was doing. As I said, like I have my son with me today. My oldest son couldn't come. I left the wrong footprints for him. I failed him. I failed my daughter. So I had to make some changes so I don't completely fail him. and I failed him the first 12 years of his life. So I had to just make some changes, and it's that accountability again, and understanding that.
So you went from writing for your own personal healing to putting it in a form where now you can share it with other people. What helped you make that transition from this is just personal to no, this is bigger than just me?
I've invested in the future with my babies, and I have to I have to put them on the path so they can be good people. That's the only way things are going to change. And if we're not there to do it ourselves, then we leave them to be raised by people who have no understanding. You know, with as a father, with me being gone, my oldest son was left to be in the streets. My ex-wife, of course, like most black women, the majority, did the best that she could, but after a while, it was on me to take up the mantle, and I was absent, and he suffered. My daughter suffered, and my youngest, to a certain extent, he suffered. It's just fortunate enough that I was able to get back when I did. But just not them. You have to get to that. It takes a village,
Yes.
because these are also the kids that my son is going to play with, and the other men that my oldest son will encounter when he comes home. So I need to try to start helping shape things from both sides. I got to guide him through what I already know about, and try to help those not have to meet him in there. Just have more welcoming arms for him when he comes home.
Yes. So what was the first book? What was the first book that you published?
This book here, When Your Associates Are More Dangerous Than You.
Mm.
That book was written with the destructive mindset that got me the 40-year sentence. And it's a wonderful read. And there are messages in there, because you can get something from anything that you read if you choose to. But it lacks the substance that my future books have.
Okay. So your mindset hadn't begun to shift yet when you were writing here.
Not completely.
Okay.
It was still in its infant stages, you know.
So I guess and what I'm hearing from you is so as we read your books, we'll see the growth. We'll see the change of a man through the pages of your books.
Exactly. You'll see the growth as a writer and as a person.
I like that. It's like going on a journey with you as you're reading the book. So what was the second book? What was the next book?
We have Loyalty Has No Gray Areas. This book here, I love that book because I touched on a lot of subjects in it. It's not limited to just talking about what I was into in the streets. I was able to touch on things to try to squash stereotypes. When whites read it, maybe they can start understanding, no, we don't grow up to aspire to be drug dealers and hustlers. But at the same time, when black people read it, we can see, okay, we are selling ourselves short. And as long as when I wrote that book and I finished it, I knew it was something that it would upset some black people, some white people, some Republicans, some Democrats. So I knew I had done my job, because it's not supposed to just cater to one anything.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew I had kind of hit the hammer on the head.
So what's next? I mean, because we talked about this evolution of man. Are you thinking about movies,
Oh, definitely.
other projects? What are you thinking about?
I want everything to become visual. I want those to become movies. All of my books, especially my next book, Necessary Sacrifice, about a black man who was a single father. Because, as I said, you women make the sacrifices every day. Well, we got some pretty hell of a black men that make these sacrifices too. And so that needs to be highlighted, So I wrote one about that. So I'll continue to write, and through my publicist and my manager, Cynthia, we're going to try to start getting these things on the screen so, y'all can see it as well.
I like that. So the book is it called Sacrifice?
Necessary
Sacrifice. Is that out now?
Yes, it is. That one is out. It's out as an ebook right now. These two are available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble in the paperback form. Necessary Sacrifice will be out later, between the end of this month and the middle of next month. So I'll have everything available. All you have to do is check out Grown Man Anything, and you're going to see something associated with me.
I think, and this it just came to me. Thank you, Holy Spirit, because that ain't me. Can't take credit for stuff that ain't mine. Whenever you do a book launch for Necessary Sacrifice, you should have a single fathers panel discussion, and have the different
Wow.
single fathers to come in. And so it's not just a book launch.
Hmm.
Launch the book, and allow these fathers to tell their stories in conjunction with you launching your book.
Oh, that's free advice.
That's It ain't
Ooh.
mine. It wasn't for me. So I pass it on.
Well, I appreciate
I
that.
think it would be powerful because it then gives these fathers an opportunity to bond,
Yeah.
because you're looking for other fathers who are going through some of the same things. But it gives, especially women, and this is one of the things that I'm seeing in our community, we need to have more conversations where women are listening to our men and our men are listening to our women. Because I think women are talking to each other and men are talking to each other, but we're going to have to get where we are listening. And so to give the women an opportunity to hear these men's perspectives,
Yeah,
I think will be powerful as well.
I do too.
Sound good?
That sounds wonderful.
Now, you're also the founder of Grown Man Publishing.
Yes.
Tell us about Grown Man Publishing.
Well, that kind of goes to my hustling mentality. You always cut out the middleman. I didn't want to go through traditional publishers because I don't pay me a percentage for my work.
Yes.
And you're not going to tell me you're not going to have control over what I create. You get some publishers, they might not want me to talk about certain things because there are certain truths that we know certain times they try to keep hidden. And I won't allow an editor to edit that.
Yes.
So other people want to bring things out that we have so many voices, so many guys incarcerated. They have things they want to talk about and it helps them. So I need to be, provide that avenue for them as well.
That's awesome because I'm thinking about a young man right now. Did 10 years for armed robbery. And he was here as a guest last week, and that's what he was talking about, wanting to be able to tell his story his way, not have someone come in and edit him out
Yeah.
of his story. So that might be, I want to definitely connect you guys
Okay.
before you leave today. So legacy. I always like to talk to people about legacy, and what does your story look like when you're no longer here? And they begin to talk about Kanan and what he did and the impact he made. What is that story?
Hopefully that story is, I'm not even really spoken of much. The lineage, my grandkids, my great grandkids, they don't even know that what has been built started from a criminal
Yeah.
backing. All they know is now they no longer hope to succeed. They just expect to.
Yes.
Harpers expect to succeed. I don't know what field, whether it's going to be medical, law, engineer. I mean, I don't know, but you're expected to succeed. Right now, we're in them stages where we're hoping our kids do well. We hope they don't go to jail or that our daughters don't get pregnant at a young age. That's nothing to aspire to. That shouldn't happen anyway. So if my legacy will be with me without me even being spoken of.
I love that. I do. Well, I need to give you an opportunity to speak to someone who's listening who maybe is struggling with a past that isn't so pleasant. And they're trying to figure out, well, how do I do something different now? How do I find this new person, this new life, and begin to not just put that behind me, but to use that as a building block, a foundation to do something different. What's your word of encouragement to them?
Honesty and being objective. No one can expect someone to be real and honest with them if you're not doing that with yourself. We have harsh truths that we have to do. Like, I had to admit that I failed as a father because I wasn't there. And when I first said that, two people who love me dearly, my partner Mike and my mother, both said, no, it's not that you failed, and they tried to find ways to sugarcoat it. But the fact of the matter is I wasn't there. And there was no greater responsibility ever given to me than being a father. And when I'm derelict in those duties, I failed. And when you failed as a father, you failed as a man. That's a harsh reality, but it doesn't define me. I'm not the sum of everything that I've done. So that's what I encourage people to do. Look at yourself. Before you point outward, point inward. And when you start looking at yourself, be real with yourself. And when you recognize those things, go from there.
I like the fact that, because when you said it at the beginning, it is the kind of thing people be like, no, no, no. But the thing is, when you acknowledge the areas in life that you failed at, now you can begin to grow
Exactly.
and repair and be better. Because if you're saying, no, it wasn't so bad, then you're saying that I don't really need to grow and change from that.
Right.
But when you acknowledge it, you're like, okay, like you said before, preparing a situation so that when your son returns, that you have tools and you have advice and
Exactly.
things in place to help him to see that change in his life that you've seen. So I
Exactly.
thank you for your transparency. Somebody's going to be blessed by it, because somebody's sitting at home going, I jacked this thing up too, but I can change and I can make a difference. So tell our audience where they can get your books and how they can follow you.
You can follow me on Twitter, Kanan Harper. On Twitter, you have me on Instagram, Kanan Harper. Grown Man Publishing on IG, Kanan Harper on Facebook. www.grownmanbooks.com. My books are available on Amazon and as well as Barnes and Noble.
Yes.
Ebooks are available on my website, on the Grown Man Books website. So we have we're trying to make it just so however you want it. I'm trying to
Yes.
have the audio books coming. Some people they're into digital. They want ebooks. Some
Yeah.
people still old school, and some just want to be able to ride and listen. So
Yeah.
it's that hustler's mentality.
Yeah.
How you want it, I need to have that for you.
I agree. I can meet your need
Yeah.
however you need it. Well, I meant to ask you this too before we go. Grown Man Publishing. How did you come up with that name?
When I decided I wanted a publishing company, I don't know. I just was thinking, and it just came to me. I don't know. I can't even remember exactly how, but it just came to me. It was like Grown Man.
It says a lot, because it said, "Don't come over here playing."
Yeah.
When you come, you gotta come.
correct. Yeah.
Exactly. So I love it. Well, I thank you so much for being here. Can you hang around to the end of the show? And
I can.
okay, because I normally like to bring all the guests back so we can close out the show together.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's fine.
Well, make sure you guys follow Kanan. I can't wait to hear more about this transformation. I love to see people's lives transforming, because it's a walking testimony to people who are watching. It's the same thing that they can do
Okay.
for their lives.
Well, thank you for having me.
Awesome. And again, shout out to Kevin for sending that good word. I needed that. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'll be live here with Sadie Evans on the Regina Sunshine Show. Where? At Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you are back live on the air with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. And I have my next guest of the day, somebody who already feels like family, even though we're just meeting today. Welcome to the show, Sadie Evans. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Well, I was looking at my notes. I always like to mention where I met someone, and I don't know how we met. It was social media?
Yeah, I watch your show, so I had asked you. I said, "How could I get on your show?" And you said, "Send me your bio." And
Well, that sounds good. See, it works. I always tell people, send me your bio, and then people
Yeah.
don't. And I'm like, see? This
Yeah.
is what happens when you send your bio
Yep,
and
it's right
information. Well, I read your bio, and it's serious, and I love it, because to read the story and then to look in your face, I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. So do this for me. Tell our audience real quick a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm Sadie Evans. I am a single mother of 5 children. That defines me to me. I'm an author. I also make candles, and I'm aspiring to be a speaker. I just spoke at a conference, Just Beautiful by Sierra Adams. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, you sent a long.
Yeah.
I got to go back because there's some good stuff in here. One of the things that stood out to me, because this is like one of the first opening lines to a bio I've ever seen. You know what I'm going to read, don't you? Sadie Evans was born in an all-women's prison in York,
Nebraska.
Nebraska, due to her mother's drawn-out battle with addiction. I don't think I've ever met anyone
Yeah.
who has that opening to their story. So that's like, okay, you already starting out here. So it's up from there. So tell me, I guess, what you know about that story.
Okay, well, I was born in a women's penitentiary, and my grandmother came and got us. That's why I'm named after her, because I was the middle child. I was the fourth. So, my grandma said, I'm not taking no more of your kids. And she was like, well, I'm going to name this one after you. So then it made my grandma come and get me from prison. I didn't meet my mom till I was almost 4 because she had to serve her sentence, of course. So that's really what I know. And then I remember she went back and we had to go visit her there. I got to see the area I was born. So, yeah.
I'm named for my grandma, too.
Yeah.
That's a special thing.
Yes, that is really special.
So you have your grandmother who takes in
7.
7.
All of us.
That's
and Barry
beautiful.
1.
That's beautiful. And I saw that in your testimony as well. So tell us about, I guess, your journey from that place to this place.
Okay, I was a really wild teen. I had my first child at 16. I was a baby. When I see the picture now, it makes me cry because I was like, oh my gosh, I was like little, like I was a kid. So I was really rebellious. I felt neglected because I didn't have a mother or a father. And my grandmother, she was old, so she really couldn't control me. So I took advantage of that. So it caused me to I had to go to jail, juvenile, probation, running away, and all those things. And it wasn't until I had my third kid, I was 25, where I realized like something got to change because I went to jail and served 7 days while I had 3 kids and my grandma had to take care of them. And by this time she was battling cancer again. So I was like, something got to change. And I don't want to leave how my mom had us feeling as children. I don't want to leave that with my kids. So that's when I got out, I got a job. When I did the 7 days, got a job, and I got in church, and my life just changed. You know how they say when you experience the goodness of God, you just never be the same. That's just what happened.
You're glowing. It's coming all out of your pores. It's so tangible. I love it. So the name of your book is it Graceful Tears?
Yeah, the cries from a gracefully broken woman.
Okay. Yeah, that is the LLC. That's your business
Yes.
name. So give us the title again.
The cries from a gracefully broken woman. That came to me in a dream, actually.
Well, tell us about the dream.
When I was going through my stuff, God had gave me a vision that I was to write for my healing. And I was like, okay, Lord, if you want me to do this, I always say, if you want me to do this, supply my needs. And I went to sleep that night. And I had a dream, and it was like the cries from a gracefully broken woman, and it was saying it over and over. So I woke up out my sleep, and I wrote it down, went back to sleep, got up, started writing from there, and took 5 years because it was painful. I couldn't even believe what I had, went through. I'm only 30. It was like, whoa, like all this. Wow. So, yeah. That's how I birthed the book.
So 5 years of basically your own personal healing journey that is now in the form of a book. So what do you talk about in your book?
My childhood trauma. I really speak about because I ended up in like 3 domestic violence relationships, and I had realized it's something about me. It's not these people. I'm picking these people. It's something about me. So when I started writing the book, I realized I was broken as a child, and I was out seeking validation from people that because I didn't have that in the household, so I was seeking it from people that was just wanting to misuse me, abuse me, and stuff, and that's what caused me to get in these relationships.
So you took you 5 years to write it, which means that there are probably some things in here that you're dealing with having to write it, but now you got to open it up and share it to the world.
Yes.
What does that feel like when you say, because it's one thing for you to write it on paper and it's for you to read, but now I'm going to hand it over to somebody else and they're going to read it. What did it feel like the first time someone gave you their feedback or their thoughts on having read your story?
Um, it was, they cried when they told me. It was like, you could just never imagine you went through nothing like that. But before I wrote it, I was like, I was fighting it hard. I was having anxiety, panic attacks, because I'm like, I don't want to let people in my life. That's embarrassing. And God just kept putting in my spirit humility. Like, I'm going to reward you for your humility. People are going to be healed because of your humility. So that's why I did it. And
Wow, I love that. So whenever readers are reading your book, what do you hope that they gain from reading it?
how to love yourself, I feel like that is vital. That is something that us as humans lack. And when we don't love ourselves, we end up in some bad situations.
That's real, because my foundation is women's ministry, and one of the main things I end up talking to women about is self-worth and self-image.
Yeah.
Because 9 out of 10 women you meet are battling with their self-image, and
Yes.
it's reflected in the decisions that they're making
Yes.
on a daily basis. And they wonder, how I keep getting here, and here. It's because you don't love yourself, baby. You don't look in the mirror every day and see someone that you find value in.
Yes.
Because when you find value in yourself, then you don't put yourself in places where
No.
folk might harm you and mistreat you. So this all sounds like ministry to me. It
Yeah.
all sounds, especially, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm thinking battered women's shelters. I'm thinking homeless shelters. You go where people are in these broken places. I need to know I can make it out
Yes.
of this space.
Yes.
And so you say you just had your first speaking gig.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
It was beautiful. This lady I met, Sierra Adams, shout out to Sierra. She just invited me. She been watching my journey basically on the side, not saying nothing to me, and she just was like, you inspire me so much. I want you to speak at my conference. So it was for women, young girls ages 12 to 21. And it was beautiful. It was like none other. It was the true move of God. Nothing I had ever experienced.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you know now that this is something you're supposed to do more of.
Yes. And
Yes.
then God gave me a vision to do my own conference October 12th, 2019 in Snellville. And when God gave me that vision, I'm like, no, that ain't me. No, you know how it be, God's vision for us be way bigger than our mind can fathom. So I was like, no. And he supplied every need, down to the venue, to the speakers, everything.
Wow. So tell us about the conference.
Well, it's going to be a conference about generational curse breakers, because I am a generational curse slayer.
Girl, say that again.
Yes.
Say that again.
Because I'm the first generation college grad, author, business owner, in the first generation to move away from home and not
Where's
go
your
back.
T-shirt? Generational curse slay. I'm serious. You need to walk around with that on your chest.
Yes.
You open your shirt. I'm here.
So yeah, it's gonna be really nice.
That's beautiful, because there are people now walking around in situations they don't even recognize that they have been passed down from
Yeah.
a previous generation, because
Yes.
they have not identified that this is what this is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Wow, I love that. I love that. So you start another business as well. One thing
Yes.
you getting ready to be one of them serial entrepreneurs here
Yes.
in a little bit. So what's going on with your new business?
Well, I do wax melts. I'm big on scents. I love scents. My grandmother passed in April of last year, and like, even if I smell like white diamond, it just brings back memories from being a kid. So I just love scents. So I started making wax melt just for myself, and I was like, other people can enjoy this, because I make them with love. I set the atmosphere. It's not like it's just thrown together. So yeah.
So what's the name of your business? If people
It's Graceful Scents.
want to order your yes, if people want to order your products, tell them how they can get them.
I have a website, gracefultears.com.
Can you smell it? Go ahead.
gracefultears.com. And the reason why I said Graceful Tears is because I'm a crybaby, okay? And when I went through what I went through, I just feel like it was all to, like Tyler Perry said, to help someone else cross, and it was God's grace that brought me out of all of it. So that's why I said Graceful Tears.
I love that.
My tears was not in vain.
Girl, I do. I love that. So to a woman that's listening right now, she's in a situation and she knows she ain't got no business being in, because so often you recognize, but the power to move,
Yes.
Out of situations is a lot of times what is the challenge. What is your word of encouragement, or even something practical to her
I would
today?
think It start with digging deep within yourself and seeing like what is the stronghold, what is keeping you there. Because sometimes it's lack of self-love, sometimes it's finances, sometimes it's having nobody to talk to. And once you realize that, moving forward from there.
That's good stuff. Well, tell our audience where they can buy your books, how they can follow you. Notice I said book.
Yeah, my second one, I need a publisher actually. It's Learning to Love Thyself. It's about the journey of how I learned to start loving
See,
myself.
I don't think you even put that in here,
No.
but I just kind of knew. See?
Yeah. Amazon is where this is at, and then my website, gracefultears.com.
Well, you heard me ask Kanan about legacy.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the legacy you hope to leave behind?
I just want my boys to just have a strong faith above all things. And like he said, knowing that succeeding is an expectation. There's no other way around it. And to keep God first, because that's what got me through everything. It really did.
So you have all boys?
Well, 4 boys, and then
4
my
boys.
daughter's my last.
Well, I see you got you a girl
Yeah.
in there. Dreams
Yeah.
for the future. What dreams do you have for the future that you haven't seen yet, but you know what's coming?
I want to, like my conference is Not Your Ordinary Conference. And what I want to do, why it's not your ordinary, I want to go to these places that, like these small towns that people don't have access to a lot of funds. People don't have access to transportation, but they still need their breakthrough. They still need to hear inspiration. They still need to be motivated. So that's what I'm working on now, and is trying to tour bus something just to get in these small towns where a lot of stuff go on, but nobody goes there to speak.
I agree. Well, I thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
for
Can you hang
having me.
around to the end of the show?
Yes.
All right, because we're going to bring everybody out to close out together.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be live with them royalty boys here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. Hello, you guys. You're back live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. And this really is like welcoming family back to the show. This has to be the third or fourth, maybe third interview with them royalty boys. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having us back.
It's
Again.
always good to have y'all.
Always.
Right.
And when I started writing the notes, because you always mention how we met, and at first I couldn't figure out how we met, and then it hit me. I think it was Desiree Lee's extreme
Pastor
faith.
Muncie.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Pastor
think
Muncie.
that's
Yep.
where, because I think y'all like jumped off the stage, and so I was like, whoa, they are not playing out here jumping for Jesus.
Yeah, that was us.
So remind our audience who you guys are and what you do.
We are them royalty boys. We do gospel hip hop. Some people call it Christian rap. Some people, whatever you want to call it, we do gospel rap. And basically, we use music as a tool to tell people about Jesus.
And you do it well. I mean, the thing that I remember is I didn't expect it. I didn't expect y'all to jump off the stage. I mean, for real. And y'all were live the entire time, which meant the kids were what? Live the entire time. And it's like you flip a switch. Y'all are like, yeah, hey, we're here. And then you're like, here.
Those the same guys? Like, yeah.
But tell our audience, get a little bit about who you are individually and what you do outside of music.
Okay. I'm Stony Hill. Outside of music, you can catch me DJing on the side. But I also teach. I teach physical education, and I love the kids. So that's a little something
That's
about me.
awesome.
Yeah, myself, Cat Nine. Outside of rapping, I do some mentoring. Me and actually my wife just got married not too long ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so we even before we got married, we're putting our thoughts together about our mentoring program. So things are coming full circle with that for us to be able to have it, as a team reaching out. But outside of that, I teach as well.
I thought so.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see how the purpose finds its way in so many different areas of our lives, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
you really can't hold back what God has put inside of you. It just begins to come out everywhere.
That's right. That's right.
So remind our audience again, how did you guys get together and start on this music journey?
For us, basically, just in the same church, same place of worship. Me and him been knowing each other. Pretty much watch him grow up. Yeah, so that became I guess you could say somewhat of just rearing and mentoring and just kind of being there for him, turned into a friendship, and now we're just like buddies, transparent, just talk about anything and whatever. Mark, which he's in absence right now, of course. He was also a member there. He actually ended up coming a little later, and just us being cool as we are, you know what I mean? Just wanting to know what's good, and you get to talking like bros do, and next thing you know, we kicking it, we hanging out, and the whole focus was about Jesus. We both were on that mission, and really just saw something in each other that we'll be able to work with each other with. We started out as solo artists, doing our thing solo, and like I say, just being there supporting one another. And then we sat back and really just said, you know what, we need to do something a little bigger. You know what I mean? Coming together and work as a team, maybe we'll be a little more influential and have a bigger impact. So we sat down, talked, and it became.
Do y'all students know what y'all do? Your
What you
students. Do they know what y'all do?
Some do. And when we do events or whatever, and if we do it in the area where we teach, like just this past weekend, we had an event and one of my students was there. And I said, hey, she's like, hey, coach. And I was like, yeah. I said, don't tell nobody what you saw here today. And so she didn't know what was coming up. We get on stage and she walks up and she's looking, she's like, oh my gosh.
Mouth just dropped.
I'm sure she spread the word whether you know her or not. She's probably recording like, do you see this?
And to that point too, I share this as well. Towards the end of last school year, just because I allow the kids to come into the computer lab in the morning just to kind of get their day started, kind of get their minds off of whatever, maybe going on at home. And so it's a little free time for them in the morning. And so, I just kind of open up and don't be so much in teacher mode in that part of the day. So I actually ended up letting one of the students see. Well, no. Actually, it came to me about, Mr. Jackson, I heard you got a video. Like, huh? So, you try to play it like, what you talking about? So I went on ahead and pulled it up. I said, you talking about this one? And so he goes and grabs the other students, and now they all crowded around the desk, and they looking at the video and looking at you like, just stunned, like speechless. So those moments like that is like, okay.
I love it. I love it though, because it gives them a different window into who you are.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful thing. Well, since I talked to you guys last, you guys been doing all types of things. Got your own radio show now. Tell us about some of these new projects.
Well, we've got the Aspiring Artist Showcase, which airs on Mondays at 7 p.m. And we interview artists from all over. They come in, we talk about their projects, things they got going on, and that's a good thing we got there. Uh, as a group, we do have photography available. We've branched out to photography, DJing, and hosting different events. So we do those things, and
Multiple
it's
streams of
so
income.
many
That's what I'm
things we
hearing.
do. I don't even know if I can name them all.
Right, and then I mean, even as solo artists too, we're working on solo projects as well. So it's just kind of dibbing and dabbing and trying to bring it all full circle.
Operating in all the gifts, right?
Yeah.
I think so often people get stuck on one particular thing that they forget about all the gifts that God has given us and being able to operate in all of those.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, new music, anything new you want to share?
Well, right now is not on your streaming platforms yet, but things are in the work. My project, the Hope Package, and basically it's just sharing my testimony because us as a group, you maybe get a little bit of that, but just K9 and Stony Hill, I guess he'll talk about his as well. But just for me and just the things that I had to endure and overcome, and to be in the place that I'm in now, just to share that side of me and just for them to vibe out with just how I rock. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it's for an audience. You know what I mean? We all have our audience, and we all have those people that God has kind of called us to. So I feel like I owe them that. You know what I mean? So, Hope Package.
That makes sense because there are people you'll reach collectively, but then there are people who are going to identify with your individual stories and testimonies.
Right.
And it's going to change their lives.
Right.
So, new music?
New music, well, we're in the process of working on it right now. It's called United We Praise, Divided We Fall, Volume 2. It's a little different. It's more of a DJ. You'll see me DJing on there, hosting. But the difference with that is a lot of times when you hear the DJ mixtapes, they just DJ and they're screaming all over, yeah, 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 yeah. But this one, you'll hear me doing a little bit of that, but I'll also be rapping on there with some of my artists and friends that I know. So, United We Praise, Divided We Fall, Part 2. It's going to be interesting.
I like that. So when you perform, are you going to DJ and perform?
I've done it before.
I think you should. I think you should. Because, and I have to say this, I attend Enlightened Christian Center in Marietta. We actually have a DJ in the pulpit, which people think is nuts.
Enlightened Christian Center.
Yeah, and our
With
pastor
Ray
was like,
Knowledge.
why not? Ray Knowledge,
Yes,
yeah. They're
yes.
like, why not? Right? But that gets people, and the kids, time they walk, they're like, oh. And you got their full attention from that point on.
That's true.
So, ministry, because everything you guys do, not from the music, from what you're doing with the kids, everything, your whole lives seem to be about ministry. Is this where you dreamed you'd be, or is this where you found yourself?
I would say this is where I found myself. My dream I had for myself was to be playing ball. I had a football scholarship to Troy State, and the Lord just kind of turned that a whole nother direction. So, just a little bit of the testimony. I'm not going to get too much into it, but, it was infirmed with sickness, and that just turned my life upside down because, I didn't know how, where, why. But, like I say, that steered things in another direction and drew me closer to God. So, in that, like you said, I found myself just, okay, it's got to be about Him because I don't want to have to go through what I went through. I don't want something to have to fall on me.
Yes, Lord.
Let me fall on the rock, not let the rock fall on me. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much, like I say, I found myself just now I'm desiring to really live for God, to represent God, and it's really about bringing Him glory. So, of course, we have to submit ourselves all the more and just rid out of the sinful nature because it's always something in us that we can work on and work out. So there again, all to His glory. So ministry is something that I can say I found myself into, and I'm thankful that He found me, that I found myself.
Beautiful thing it is. You think about what life would have been like.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess it found me. I don't know. My grandma, she's a pastor, so I've seen that my whole life. But I guess to make it simple, I was playing basketball, and I would go to, because I'm like him. I would have thought I would have played basketball, which, don't get me wrong, I'll still dunk on you. But, to make it real simple, I was at church one day. I was with my friends, and it was like, I'm going to be honest, we were kind of bored. And then I went to my grandma. I said, well, Grandma, can I make some music? She said, it's going to be about Jesus. I said, yeah, it's going to be about Jesus. And so I did it. And so it started off for the kids, but I don't know, as I've grown and matured, I don't know, it's going for different age groups now. So that's how I stumbled upon it.
Well, you guys mentioned your radio show. Is it artists, specifically Christian artists, or inspirational artists, or the artists of all type that you bring onto your showcase?
Well,
The show is
the show is
voice in the gospel.
voice in the gospel.
Okay.
Yeah, One Way
Alright.
Praise
We've
Radio.
had inspirational artists, and we've had artists that said, "Don't call me a Christian artist." So
I've heard that too. Some of them. Well, I actually heard one guy tell me, when you label me as a Christian artist, there's people automatically decide they're not going to listen to my music. So I'll say I'm inspirational, so maybe they will take a moment and they'll get to hear the gospel in the process.
true.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give me your view. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Tell him, give me your
I don't know if
view.
you got time for that.
Oh, man, that's a discussion.
Yes.
Know, and, you got people on different sides of that. I just say it like this. That comes across as compromising the gospel. You're going to deny the name in order to promote you or who you now promote. Who is it now about that you have to drop that? But if that's what you are, but to each his
Well, I
own.
agree with you, because there's so many spaces now where you hear everything except for the name Jesus, right? That we will talk about. Just don't say his name, but I'm like, but that's where the power is. So if we don't say his name,
Right.
then what's going to happen up in here?
Right, right.
So I understand
I
exactly
mean,
what you're
because
saying.
and then people say because they're not going to hear, but it's for those that know his voice, even if they're not saved. His sheep gonna know his voice,
Yes.
because you have those that may have went astray. But then again, we all come to that crossroad to where there again, his sheep know his voice, so they gonna know when they hear that it's time for whoever it may be. All right, I need to let it go. And we have testimonies of people that it wasn't necessarily a case of an artist or maybe a minister dropping the fact that they were a gospel whoever or whatever, that they still reach whomever it was that they were intended to reach. So it's for who it's for. And for you to feel like you have to compromise what you represent, what you stand for in order to reach more, then you really have to check the intent of the heart of that individual.
I like that answer.
So-
I do. Well, anything else that you want our audience to know about you, your projects, anything you got going on?
I'll just make it simple. Anything you want to know about us, you can find it on social media at Them Royalty Boys. Except for Snapchat. We don't have a Snapchat.
Is there a reason? You said it like there was a
Just
reason.
don't have a Snapchat. Sorry.
No story behind that.
There's no story behind it. They just be like, Snapchat? I have a Snapchat. So,
That's those young ones, right?
Hey, I mean, that's a lot to keep up with.
It is. I'm so
Yeah.
social media tired. Can I just say that? Can somebody just come and take over my social media? Y'all, I'm tired of looking at it.
For real.
Well, you said so again. Give them that one more time where they can find everything.
you can find all social media, Them Royalty Boys. If you want to find the music, it's definitely on YouTube, Them Royalty Boys, or you could go to Bandcamp, Them Royalty Boys. But all social media, Them Royalty Boys.
Well, we got to close out the interview with something, for whoever's listening that can identify with where you are. You have somebody who's listening right now, and they're like, I got some music, and I know this music is supposed to be life-changing. But again, I'm not sure about the title. I'm not sure how the world's going to receive me. What's your word of encouragement to them?
You want to go first? Or?
I would say step out on faith, put it out there. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you don't put it out there, nobody's going to hear it. You'll never know if it was meant for someone to hear. So I would say definitely just give it a try.
Awesome.
Know who you are. Know what your message and what your intent is. And once you connect with that, just go for it. Like 100%, just go for it. If God be for it, who can be against it? So you really, like he said, you have to just step out on faith and know that this is what God called you to do. And when you know that and you connect with it, go. Should nothing come in your way. Nothing separate you from that. So
I love it. That's the perfect way to end this segment. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll bring the other guests back, and we'll close out together.
Okay, sounds
You've
good.
been live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you're back live on the air at Regina Sunshine and all of my guests today here on the Regina Sunshine Show. And if you watch my show for any period of time, you know I like to end out the show giving my guests one final opportunity to encourage, inspire, uplift the audience that's listening. And all of you have such amazing lives and ministries that I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to give some practical tips and tools to our audience. How do you stay encouraged? What do you do on a daily basis that keeps you motivated? Is it prayer? Is it meditation? Is it something you read? You know, because there's somebody out who's just looking for somewhere to start. Where can I start to begin renewing my mind, to get my life back in order? So I'll start with Sadie. Is there one practical tip or tool that you use in your life on a regular basis that really helps you?
I journal a lot, just so everything is not heavy on me and I'm not keeping stuff to myself, as I journal.
That's a good one. Journaling.
For me, the word that comes to mind, self-evaluation. I'm constantly evaluating myself and lined up with the word, of course, and to see where I may need to make some changes, whether it be separate myself from someone or something. But just the self-evaluation, you know, continue to check yourself.
Awesome, Ston.
Stay prayed up. I stay prayed up, and I always keep this in the back of my head. And since I was a kid, since my grandma told me, be good, do good, good will come back to you.
I like that.
Focus on doing that.
I like that. And
I guess I'm kind of in that self-evaluation mode where I want to make some form of progress, no matter how small, every day. And I'm just motivated by my son, my daughter, and my oldest son. They just keep me driven to do better.
awesome. Are there any, I guess, podcasts or people you listen to that inspire you? Or maybe there's a book you've recently read that helped you, something we can pass on to our audience?
I like Sarah Jakes, T.D. Jakes' daughter, because I can relate to her. She's real relatable. So, yeah, she's real good.
Awesome.
A couple people who I listen to. E.T. Pretty sure he's familiar with a lot of people. E.T. the hip hop preacher. And actually, T.D. Jakes left me with a word that's still echoing to this day.
We're going to give it. Can you remember what it is? Do we need it to?
It's the whole idea of I can do all things through Christ. The all things, like that phrase alone has just been sticking with me for like a minute. All things. First of all, it's the I can, the confidence that you can. But then not just only in yourself, but the confidence in the God that we serve. That those all things can get done with and through him. If we serve a God of impossibilities, then, you know, when you say I can do all things, do you really believe that, or are we just saying that?
Because all means all.
Yeah, all means all. And I found myself in some challenging situations, like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And I'm ready to kind of like bow out. And then it echoes, I can do all things. And I start just saying it to myself. And I just find myself just navigating, working through it. And before you know it, I've completed it.
That's good stuff. Thank you.
I'd say my pastor, Dr. E.W. Hill, T.D. Jakes. I often listen to him quite often. And as far as books, you might say this cliche, but I read this every morning because every problem that you got is in there. It's a lesson in there somewhere. But that Bible.
It's great reading too. Phenomenal story. I always tell people,
Hey, it's some
I'm like,
drama in
this,
there,
I'm like, you talking about some real stories? And they did what? And then what happened? Yes.
I don't want to get no ideas, but y'all want some good TV shows. Flip some of them names. Let me stop.
That's why when I would read the Bible to my son when he's little, I would always do voices and everything. I'm like, do you know what happened? He'd be like, what? Yeah. Great stories. Thank you, Kanan.
I'm just a huge Jay-Z fan.
Yeah.
I listen to Jay. I can have writer's block, but if I put Jay on, I'm going to come out of it. He motivates me to just keep pushing. From the projects, billionaire.
Yes.
Need I say more?
I love it. Well, I thank y'all for sharing with our audience because sometimes people just need somewhere to start. They're sitting there like, just give me something, that I can go and start with. So thank you all again for being on the show. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Shout out to Shannon for helping us produce the show, and to our audience members. I know y'all, audience members live in studio with us. And I leave you with the words I always leave you with. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. You guys make sure you check out the Awesome Girl Awards coming up August the 24th. I'm still taking Awesome Girl nominations until the end of this week. Go to ReginaSunshineRobinson@gmail.com or just go to ReginaSunshine.com and nominate our girls. We're going to have an amazing time. I want to shout out some of the people that are going to be there. Eric Thomas, Rodney Rogers. I got all kinds of names in my head right now. Ronnie Thomas, that's his name. The fun, weird science guy. He's going to be with us doing science experiments at the event, which when he was here, I was the big kid because I was pushing folk out the way. When he asked him for volunteers, I was like, me. So he's going to be there. We got the Nzuru drummers, these young African drummers. They were actually at our Boss Awards last year, and they were like, Miss Regina, can we come back to your next event? And so they're going to be starting at the Y, playing the drums all the way through the Y to announce the beginning of the award show. It's going to be amazing. Bring your girls out. They will be inspired. They will meet girls that look like them, that are the same age as them, and they will walk away knowing that they are an awesome girl too. All right? I leave you with my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning.